Boru Aboye Aboshishe. Man, I just had this aha moment. And this is not fundamental to the core teachings or not really pertinent to anybody's spiritual development per se. It's just one of those things that I realize that it rubs me the wrong way, and I realize that the reason that it bothers me is because I have insight into it that I need to express. I need to make use of that with the hopes of bridging understanding and enabling people to go further with their scholarship, go further with their research, and get really an authentic perspective on what is Orisha lifestyle, who are the Yoruba people, and where do we come from, okay? Now, the Yorubas are not from Egypt. The Yorubas are not from Egypt. The Yorubas are not from Egypt. They are not from Mecca. They are not from anywhere in the Mediterranean world at all whatsoever. The Yorubas, by their own account, are from what is known today as West Africa. Okay? Now, I am not a Yoruba historian by any stretch of the imagination, and I don't claim to have the definitive knowledge of Yoruba history. But let me tell you what I have done over more than 20 years of my life. I have studied Yoruba civilization and culture from lots and lots of different angles. From blacksmithing, iron smelting, bead making, migration patterns, palace structures, apprenticeship models, soil categorizations, weaving, and then herbology, medicine, philosophy, art history, mural painting. I mean, I've read lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of white papers and books and pamphlets written by Yoruba scholars. Okay, that is important. 99.9% of the information that I have gathered has come directly from Yoruba people themselves. And where it has come from academics, those academics were university students or professors or whatever the case may be. They were part of the ivory tower within Nigeria. All right, and without fail, every single time a knowledgeable person wants to know the origin and the source of a particular discipline or aspect of Yoruba civilization, they always refer back to the oral tradition. Always. And most specifically, they refer back to Ifa. When they talk about the original iron smelter, the original carver, the original blacksmith, the first palace, where all of the kingdoms come from, they talk about Ifa. Who is the first king of Ketu, the first king of Ondo, the first king of Ilesha, of Ekiti, of Oyo, of Oshogbo? Who is the first king? That information is all contained in Ifa. Who were his chiefs? What were his symbols of authority, his insignia? Which deity was resident in that palace or in that kingdom? All of it is detailed in Ifa. Okay? Now, for the people to codify the knowledge and the history in such a consistent way lets you know that there is a method. Okay? There is a definitive source of information. There are no verses of Ifa that tell you that the Yorubas come from Egypt. There are no verses of Ifa that tell you that the Yorubas come from Mecca. There are no verses of Ifa that tell you that the Yorubas are from anywhere in the Mediterranean Peninsula or related to that group of people. Nothing. Okay? And so that disproves the subject from the beginning. What I want to encourage people to do is use the same inside out sourcing that you would use to define Islam or to define Judaism or define Hinduism or define Taoism, you wouldn't go to the Anglican Church to ask where Taoism is from. You wouldn't go to the Ethiopian Coptic Church to find out the origins of the Sioux Indians. You wouldn't go into the Talmud to find out the source of the Zulu. It doesn't make sense. So why are you going to all of these obscure, irrelevant sources to define the source of the Yorubas when the Yorubas clearly have a method for defining their origins and their sources? It doesn't make sense. Okay? So it's good to be exploratory, it's good to be scholarly, but be consistent, be authentic, and tell the truth. Aboru aboye, aboshishe.